Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Full Council. Today, Thursday, the 21st of May. Before we start the agenda, as you all know, I'm stepping down as your chairman today after 8 years, and I really just wanted to take a few moments to thank you all very much indeed for your support over those 8 years, for all the hard work that you've put in for this council and the community, and to all our hard-working staff for everything that they have done for us and for the community. It's a difficult thing to step down after all these years when you feel in some respects that you haven't achieved everything that you want to achieve. There's still so much that we need to do as a council, and as chairman you feel responsible for. We've worked very hard with limited resource and with mounting regulation that's come our way. A few years ago, when we had plenty of European money and lack of regulation to some degree, we were able to paddle our canoe a little bit more easily. Now our chief executive finds that it's just a mire of regulation that we have to try and grapple with as a very small authority. I'm not making excuses for what we haven't achieved, but it is difficult when we've got lack of resource and mounting regulation. One of the reasons I put myself forward in the last couple of years as your chairman was because it takes so long to deliver on everything. And I thought, I haven't delivered enough yet as your chairman, I need to do more. But you suddenly learn, or soon learn, that actually you can't deliver everything. It's not even within your gift. Anyway, I've come to the conclusion it's time to step down and let one of our younger members, or whoever you choose, to take over from me. I think one of my biggest concerns for our council is the way that government keeps changing. As you know, we have considerable issues. One of those is making sure that our settlement is correct. At the present time, as you know, it's not correct, and even the minister acknowledges that it's not correct, but we still haven't had the correct settlement issued to us. So we continue with that fight. My worry is that the way the government is at the moment, that could well change again in due course. Ministers can change again, and every time we seem to have got somewhere, we seem to be set back because we get a new minister, a new policy, and it doesn't help us at all. However, we've got to keep batting and we've got to keep trying. And it's the same around our transport issues. As you know, although we've got lots of serious issues, transport is absolutely fundamental to everything. And we have to try and deliver affordable freight and passenger fares for the islands. And we also have to deliver a much better service inter-island. You know, we've been talking about it and we're trying to do it, but we've actually got to deliver it now and make sure that our off-islands not only get, you know, reasonable fares and freight costs, but they get good connectivity, especially in the winter, which is under threat, as you know. So we've got to work hard on all these things. I continue to serve you as a councillor along with you. I will give every support to our new chairman, and I hope that I can continue to assist and serve the community in the years ahead. It's really important that we do the things that we've said we do deliver and we do achieve, because if we don't achieve, then around our settlement, around our transport, and around other issues we've got to do, then we're not providing the best future for our children on the islands, and our children are our future. So I hope you agree with me and take all that on board. So thank you for all the support you've given me, and I wish the new council and the new chairman well. Thank you. I have one more job to do before I can step down, and that is to preside over the election of the new chair. Our monitoring officers pointed out to us that we have a few amendments to make around our standing orders, because in the past we've had our chief executive deal with that situation, but actually legally, as by law, I remain chair until the new chair is formally appointed, and I'm not up for nomination as chair. As I'm not up for nomination for chair, it is required by law that I'm present at the meeting and that I preside over the nomination. Before I do so, it's necessary to propose that standing orders 10.2 to 10.6, only in relation of the chief executive presiding over nominations for chair, that these be suspended. So could I please have a nomination for the suspending of those, could I have a proposer for the suspending of those standing orders, please? Councillor Grotty.
I'd like to propose that recommendation, Chair.
Thank you. The seconder, please. That's Councillor Nixon. Thank you. All those in favour? That's carried. Unanimous. Thank you very much. So we move on to item 1 on our agenda, which is the election of Chairman of Council for years 2026 and 2027. From the chair, I would like to propose Councillor Joel Williams. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Peacock, thank you very much. Are there any other nominations for Chairman of Council, please? No. So we have a proposer and a seconder for Councillor Williams. All those in favour of that, please? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are you abstaining, Councillor Beck? Thank you. So we're mostly in favour. It is carried, and we have one abstention. So Councillor Williams, you are now Chairman of Council. Thank you.
On behalf of the whole council, Robert, I'd like to thank you for your commitment, efforts and sacrifice. 8 years as chair places you as one of the longest serving chairs in the history of our council. You oversaw the pandemic, you've been actively involved in our fight for fairer funding and more resilient transport. You retire with our best wishes. Agenda item 2 is election of vice chair for council for the ensuing year. The proposal is that we do this by a roll call to avoid any confusion with hands being put up once, twice or 3 times. So my proposal is we go around the room and invite you to to suggest whether you're supporting Councillor Marcus or Councillor Sims, unless we have any other nominations. In fact, shall we start again? Do I have any nominations for Vice Chair for the ensuing year, please? Councillor Legg.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Sims.
Do I have a seconder, please?
I will second that nomination, thank you.
Do I have any other nominations, please? Councillor Nixon.
I'd like to propose Councillor Marcus, please.
Do I have a seconder for Councillor Marcus?
I'd like to second that.
Thank you, Councillor Guy. So, I'm going to go around the table, ask you to express preference for Councillor Sims or Councillor Marcus or abstentions, unless there are any other nominations. So, if I start with you, Councillor Roger.
Councillor Sims.
Councillor Francis.
Councillor Sims.
Councillor Sims.
Councillor Sims.
Councillor Nixon.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor Dean.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor White.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor Blackwell.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor Sanford.
Councillor Sims.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor Legg.
Councillor Sims.
Councillor Guy.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor Peacock.
Councillor Marcus.
Councillor Grottick.
I wish to abstain. On the grounds that both candidates are very capable.
You also have a vote, Councillor Williams.
I was going to use it as a casting vote, so I'm just going to ask the Chief Exec what the score is at the moment.
It's 7 votes for Councillor Marcus and 5 for Councillor Sims.
Okay. I would have used my casting vote in favour of Councillor Marcus, but it was going to be academic. So I think on that tally, Councillor Marcus, you're elected Vice Chair.
Just get to sign the book, so I don't fall foul of.
Do you wish to say anything?
Thank you very much for your support. I will promise to do my best. Thank you.
Agenda item 3 is declarations of interest. Do I have any, please? I can see no lights on. Agenda item 4 is minutes of previous meeting held on the 26th of March 2026. Councillor Dean.
Yes, on page 4 of the agenda pack, under Statement of Licensing Policy, it's been brought to my attention that my wording is slightly incorrect. So where it says about 2/3 down on the matter and on that matter and that the weight of the professional evidence, it should say professional opinion. And after that, received was such that it was his view that the cumulative impact area in Hewtown be discontinued rather than it would be improper. Okay. So if we could amend those minutes, please.
I could see no further lights on. So with those amendments taken into consideration, can I have a proposer and seconder for those minutes? Councillor Peacock, Councillor Dean. All those in favour? That is carried. Agenda item 5 is Chairman's announcements. I just had 3 short ones. I wish to congratulate all those involved in the recent Gig Championships, specifically congratulations to our local men's under-25 crew who became world champions over the weekend. Tomorrow we are part of the Royal Visit as we welcome Prince William to the official opening of the Health and Social Care Integration Project. We hope the day goes well. And congratulations to colleagues from the Museum and Cultural Centre who recently won Best Exhibition by a small museum at the Cornwall Heritage Awards. Agenda item 6 is consideration of any questions received under Standing Order 14. There are none this morning. Agenda item 7 is consideration of any motions received in accordance with Standing Order 12. There are none. For information, we have draft minutes from the Scrutiny Committee. Councillor Mumford, you're online. I don't know if you wish to say anything before we move on from that agenda item.
No, thank you. I haven't got anything with me, so
Okay. That's
thank you.
for information. Agenda item 9 is urgent items, which I have none, which takes us into part 1, reports requiring a decision. Agenda item 10, I think, is going to be presented by Leah in the first instance.
Good morning, members. So I bring to you the report which seeks to facilitate the appointment of committees and other forums to assist the council in discharging its functions. This is a requirement of both the Local Government Act 1972 and the council standing orders. These require the council to appoint its committees at its annual meeting to deal with the functions of council that are not reserved to full council, and to appoint those committees that we're required to appoint by statute. So before members are 2 recommendations. The first recommendation seeks to appoint the formal committees of full council as set out in that recommendation. So they are the Licensing Committee, Governance Committee, Scrutiny Committee, Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Economic Prosperity Board, Inshore Fisheries Conservation Authority, Health and Wellbeing Board, and the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Integrated Care Partnership, sitting as a committee in common with Cornwall Health and Wellbeing Board. And then there's a second recommendation just asking the council to note that it also appoints a number of boards, groups and other forums which are not formal committees of the council, and appointment to those bodies are dealt with in our latter 2 reports. They are the internal and external appointments reports. Any questions? Thank you, members.
Councillor Peacock?
Yeah, I note that if we, for example, do scrutiny before we do leave member roles, that will may give us some issues, because whoever is the connection for, or the member who's representing the council on, for example, Cornwall Partnership Trust, can't stand on scrutiny. So it might be the wrong way round, but that would be only my view.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Councillor Peacock.
And also a number of the roles in the bit we're discussing now depend if the lead member is a lead member or not. So it's a bit, I don't know, it just seems a bit of a strange way of doing things, to my way of thinking. It would be more difficult to be the other way around.
This report, Councillor Peacock, is just appointing the committees.
Okay.
Councillor Grottick.
Chair, thank you. May I ask for clarification from the monitoring officer, please? My understanding is that our seat on the Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly Economic Prosperity Board was normally a seat for the Vice Chair of the Council. However, I would be interested in knowing if this was mandatory or discretionary, as Councillor Sims has served on this board for some while, and I would propose that he remain with the acquiescence, obviously, of members.
So I think those questions, Councillor Grottick, are for the later report. So this report is the appointment of the actual committees. So it's full council setting up its committees for the year, as opposed to any appointments to those committees, which is dealt with in the next report.
Fair enough, thank you.
So this is a procedural report. We'll move on to the actual further items. Councillor Nixon.
So I was just going to propose the recommendations.
Thank you. Councillor Legg, seconding.
I was going to second them. Yeah.
All those in favour? Thank you, that's carried. So that takes us into agenda item 11, which is the actual appointments, which I'm proposing to do line by line where possible. And hopefully we can do it in a swift, easy, straightforward manner. So, Aaliyah, did you want to introduce anything on this before we go ahead?
Yeah, I'll just do a brief introduction. So, members, this report is to facilitate the appointment of members to the council's committees. It also seeks to facilitate the appointment of members to lead member roles, and it also appoints members to some informal groups where the terms of reference do not dictate the particular membership to be appointed to that group. So there are two recommendations. Recommendation 1 deals with the individual appointments, and as the chairman has just said, he's going to take those each individually in terms of voting. And then there is a recommendation 2, which is that full council ratify the de facto appointments that arise from a member being appointed to another role. So, for example, if one of the councillors is appointed to a lead member role as a consequence of recommendation 1, and a terms of reference says that that lead member role be a member on a particular committee, that is what recommendation 2 is dealing with, those de facto appointments. So if any particular members have got any specific issues arising relating to recommendation 1 and particular appointments, we can take those as they arise. Thank you.
Fine. Let's take a deep breath and get the show on the road. First one on Appendix 1 is our licensing committee. Convention is we appoint all members except the chairman. Councillor Dean.
I'll propose that.
I'll second that.
All those in favour? Carried by clear majority. Scrutiny committee. We are looking for 8 members. The previous incumbents are listed. Are we proposing any amendments?
I'll propose the incumbents.
Councillor Guy.
Second.
All those in favour? Carried by clear majority. IFCA, we're looking for 3 appointments and the incumbents are noted. Councillor Legg.
I'll propose the incumbents.
Councillor Guy.
Second.
All those in favour? Carried by clear majority.
Can I just intervene, Chair? Have you accidentally missed out the governance committee?
Next.
I have governance committee next on my list of appendix.
Oh, sorry, you're working through the appendix as opposed to the recommendation.
Okay, I can try and do both at once. So governance committee next. 8 members with the incumbents listed. Councillor Grottick, Councillor Peacock.
Yeah, I would prefer not to be on governance this year, given my hopeful workload.
Councillor Grottick.
I'd be interested in serving on the governance committee.
Councillor Blackwell.
I'm happy to step down if there's no space.
So Councillor Peacock, you're looking to step down. Councillor Grottick, you're looking to join. Councillor Blackwell, you're looking to vacate if there is if you can. Councillor Legg.
I would be happy to take Councillor Blackwell's place.
Thank you. Do I have a proposer and seconder for those amendments?
Just a quick query. There's 8 members. We have 7 members listed. I think we've still got 7 members. Maybe another member would like to go on.
Councillor Mumford is on the second page.
Yeah, okay. It's just a widow or an orphan at the bottom there. Thank you. No problem.
All those, did we have a proposer and seconder for those? Proposer for those amendments, Councillor White. Seconder, Councillor Guy. All those in favour? Carried by clear majority. Recommendation E is Health and Wellbeing Board. We're looking for 3 members, and we also appointed an additional member at a later point in the year, last year. Some of those are by portfolio.
we can leave that chair to the end because it may end up being de facto depending on who is appointed to those lead member roles.
Okay, if you can remind me of that one if we do need to do anything.
Yeah.
And shall we look to do the same with the next one, Leah, based on portfolios? Economic Prosperity Board.
Let me just check. Apologies, members.
With reference to the economic prosperity, but it's winding down now. I can't attend meetings in the summer really, and by the time I can attend meetings, it would have more or less ceased to be. So I would rather not. It's futile me doing it.
In terms of economic prosperity board chair, my understanding is that there isn't a specific requirement as to which particular member sits on that board, that it is just 2 boards, but it may be a practice that we tend to appoint a particular member to that board. But in terms of its terms of reference, I don't think there's a requirement it be a particular role from the council. It's just 2 members.
So we would look for 2 representatives to sit on the Economic Prosperity Board at this point. Councillor Peacock?
Yeah, I would like to serve on the Prosperity Board, and I would like to propose Councillor Francis to sit on the Prosperity Board too.
Any other nominations? All those in favour of...
Second.
So you're proposing that one?
If I can propose myself, I'll propose myself. So can someone propose me, please?
I'll propose Councillor Peacock.
We need 2 seconders.
So we need a proposer for Councillor Peacock and we need a proposer for Councillor Francis.
I propose Councillor Francis.
Dan's.
We just need a seconder for both.
And seconder is Councillor Sims or Roger. Councillor Sims?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favour? That one is carried. Committee in common is by terms of reference, as I understand it. Local Plan Steering Group is by portfolio, as I understand it. Capital and Properties Board is set out as terms of reference, as I understand it. Which brings us to lead members, I think. So we're looking for a lead member for Planning and Regulatory Services.
I'll nominate Councillor Blackwell.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? All those in favour of Councillor Blackwell? Carried by clear majority. Lead member for Adults.
I'll nominate Councillor Mumford.
Second, Councillor Mumford.
Thank you very much. Any other nominations? All those in favour of Councillor Mumford? Carried by clear majority. Lead member for Children.
I'll nominate you, Councillor Williams.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any other nominations? All those in favour? Carried by clear majority. Lead member for Economy, Tourism and Transport.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Francis. I've done it for quite a long time now, but I think Robert's been in there all the time, and I think he needs something to do, else he's going to be like a rogue elephant, really. So I nominate Councillor Francis for that role, and I'm happy to step back from it.
Seconder.
Seconder.
Councillor Roger. Any other nominations? All those in favour? Carried by clear majority. Lead member for Finance, Governance, Risk, Performance and Corporate Services.
Nominate Councillor Nixon.
Have a seconder. Councillor Sims. Any other nominations? All those in favour? Thank you very much. Carried by clear majority. Lead member for Environment, Environmental Services and Climate Change. Councillor Guy.
I'd like to propose Councillor Peacock.
Councillor Legg.
Second.
Any other nominations? All those in favour? Carried by clear majority. Lead member for Housing and Corporate Estate.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Dean.
Councillor Guy.
I'd like to second.
Any other nominations? All those in favour? Carried by clear majority. Member responsible for complaints within the Complaints Handling Code. Previously, Councillor Dean.
I'm going to nominate Councillor Dean. I think it goes with portfolio.
Chair, would you prefer to tie that to a role or just a specific person?
I think, yeah. So you're proposing?
Yeah.
Councillor Nixon?
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? All those in favour? Carried. Climate Emergency Working Group is as per terms of reference from what I can see.
No, it isn't.
So we're looking for 4 to 6. We're looking for 6 members. We previously had 4 names are recorded on the paper. Do we have nominations to amend or continue with those? Councillor, I don't know whose light went on. Councillor Peacock.
Okay. I was going to propose the incumbents with the, I think, and I've seen an email. Yep. The other one as well. I've forgotten your name. Councillor Blackwell. Sorry, I had a moment then. Sorry. I was trying to use a surname and have a senior moment.
I'd like to second that proposal. If you didn't get it, that's the incumbents plus Councillor Blackwell.
Okay. So we're proposing Councillor Peacock, Councillor Mumford, Councillor White, Councillor Legg and Councillor Blackwell to fill 5 of those 6 spaces. Did we have a proposer? We had a seconder. Yep. All those in favour? It's carried clearly. Climate Adaptation Oversight Group.
Could I query this one a minute? Apparently I'm on it. I don't think we've ever met. I mean, I was unaware I was on it even, so it may well be more functional to actually disband it, because I don't think it exists apart from in this piece on this report, unless Nicola can enlighten me.
We're currently appointing the consultants to lead that second phase of the project. So the steering group, the oversight group, will sit once they've been appointed and in post. So once you've got some work to do, you will be busy.
So a suggestion, we look for 5 appointments today. Councillor Peacock.
Yeah, I know. I'll after what just been said, I'll just keep quiet for a second. But I was going to propose the incumbents, and I read the names and realised we maybe need a few more. So we may need some volunteers for that one.
Okay. Do we have 5 people here this morning who would wish to be part of the oversight group? So we've got Councillor Sims, Councillor Blackwell, Councillor Sanford, Councillor Peacock, Councillor Legg. Councillor White.
I was going to say I'm happy to be on that alongside I think the work kind of goes hand in hand with the Climate Emergency Working Group, so I'd like to sit on both.
Okay. So could just clarify, could just have hands up one more time for those who just wish to take part?
Steve, Jeff, Alex, Lynn,
May,
and
Apple as well.
Harry.
Sorry, Chair, can I just propose that it's all the off-island members, because one of them's not here today, but probably should be every off-island member, plus some others. So I'll propose Councillor Dorian Smith.
I'll second that proposal.
Okay. Could we just have a proposal and second for all those names?
I'll propose them all.
Councillor Dean, Councillor Legg.
Happy to second that.
All those in favour? That's carried. Yeah.
Chair,
Yes.
If it's helpful for me to just work through recommendation 1, because recommendation 1 sets out the ones that we actually need a resolution for, because some of the ones in the table fall within your de facto appointments at recommendation 2. So if we just work our way through recommendation 1, just to make sure we've done everything, and then we can pick up the Health and Wellbeing Board and the Committee in Common. So we've done 1A Licensing Committee, 1B Governance Committee, 1C Scrutiny, 1D IFCA. We've done 1G Economic Prosperity Board. Have we done the Climate Emergency Working Group?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we've done that one. The Communications Group,
Do that one next.
we'll do that one next, yes. That's 1I.
Fine. So we've got the Communications Working Group. We've got the list of the previous incumbents. Are there any amendments or additions? Councillor Legg.
I would like to also join that group.
Councillor Grottick.
Can I just say that I would have been interested in serving on the corporate parenting panel, Chair?
We're going to come to that one probably next, Councillor Grottick. We'll just do Communications Group. So we're looking to keep the current membership in addition to Councillor Legg for Communications Working Group.
I'll propose that.
Seconder.
I'll second that.
Councillor White. All those in favour? That's carried. Leah, which one would you like us to do next?
So if we move to the Health and Wellbeing Board and the Chair, just by way of confirmatory resolution. So Health and Wellbeing Board at recommendation 1E, the terms of reference require full council appoint 3 members to that board, the Vice Chair, lead member for children and lead member for adults. So where we have the situation that we have currently where the Vice Chair, oh no, sorry, because you are no longer the Vice Chair. So that works. So the Vice Chair, the lead member for children and the lead member for adults needs to be appointed to the Health and Wellbeing Board. So if we could just do that by way of a confirmatory resolution, propose, second and vote.
Do we have a proposer for those members? Councillor Peacock.
Well, I can't because it's me. I was just going to say I was voted on in October as well onto that board. So I didn't realise I can't propose it myself. So.
Councillor Guy.
I'll propose.
Seconder.
I'll second.
Councillor Francis. All those in favour? That one is carried. Which one?
And then
Leah.
the next one is also a confirmatory resolution, and that is that the chair of the Health and Wellbeing Board, which is the lead member for adults for 26-27, so that is Councillor Mumford, be appointed to the Committee in Common between Cornwall and the Health Wellbeing Board and the Cornwall and Ailsa Scilly Integrated Care Partnership. So if we could propose second and vote for that.
I'll propose that.
I'll second.
All those in favour? That's carried. Congratulations, Councillor Mumford.
Corporate parent.
Is it Corporate Parenting Board then next? Leah?
Just working my way through, done the complaints. Did we do the overview panel, the islands that... Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you. Corporate Parenting Board.
So we had 4, what else did we have? 3. There are 3 members, previously myself, Councillor Blackwell, Councillor White. Councillor Grottick, you expressed interest in joining this board in a previous conversation. Leah, do you know if we've got any limitation on the number of members who can sit on this, whether it can be increased from 3?
In the terms of reference, I'm sure it says 3 that went to full council for approval.
Okay. Councillor White.
Just to say I'd like to continue to serve on the board. I think it's important to have some off-island representation on there and the exciting work that we've only just started. So I'd like to carry on.
I would like to remain on the board. We've done some great work and I'm very passionate about this one. Thank you.
Okay. And it clearly makes sense for the lead member for children to be part of that board, so I would imagine that's a link to the portfolio.
I think if we take those three today, propose, second and vote, and then we can take away as an action for the service to look at the terms of reference, and if those terms of reference are altered to include another member, then obviously we can seek to appoint at the next meeting of full council. But I think based on today's meeting, the terms of reference, as far as I'm aware, does say 3 members because that's upon the basis on which this report is drafted.
Is that satisfactory to you, Councillor Grottick? We'll keep the 3 members today, but we'll review terms of reference and...
Certainly, Chair.
Thank you very much. So do I have a proposer and seconder for the 3 members recorded?
I'll propose that.
Seconded, Councillor Peacock. All those in favour? That's carried. Does that cover off those on that agenda item, Leah?
We just need to do the recommendation at 2, which is just a cover-all for all the de facto appointments. So that's all of those that are in Appendix 1 that we haven't gone through individually. So that's that full council ratify the de facto appointments that arise from a member being appointed to a particular role as set out in Appendix 1.
Do I have a proposer and seconder for recommendation 2, please? Councillor Nixon.
I'm happy to propose that.
Councillor Dean.
Happy to second.
All those in favour? That is carried. So my understanding that concludes agenda item 11, Leah.
Yes.
Which moves us on to agenda item 12. So again, we'll do this line by line. So the first one is Isles of Scilly Area of Natural Beauty Partnership. We require 2 members, previously Councillor Peacock and Councillor Legg. Councillor Guy.
I'll propose them too.
I'll second that.
All those in favour? That is carried. Isles of Scilly Local Nature Partnership. We require 1 representative. Councillor Guy.
I'll propose Councillor Peacock.
Seconder. All those in favour? Thank you, that's carried by majority. South West Regional Flood and Coastline Committee, 1 representative. Councillor Legg.
Propose Councillor Peacock.
Councillor Guy.
Second.
All those in favour? Is carried. Devon and Cornwall Police and...
If I may, Joel, those 3 that we've just done are almost a de facto with the lead member of environment. And I just wonder next year if the lead member of environment automatically sits on those 3 committees. That would be sensible from where I sit.
I'll just come in on that, Councillor. I think I would agree with you, and monitoring officer is going to do a review of the standing orders during the year, and we will pick up items such as that, and I'm sure she'll make a note of it, and we will address it before next year.
Councillor Sims, your light is on.
I'm just going to actually propose Councillor Rogers for the next one.
So Devon and Cornwall Police and Crime Panel, we need 1 representative.
I propose Councillor Rogers.
Sims, Councillor Francis.
Second.
Any other nominations? All those in favour? That is carried. Medical, Travel and Transport Group, we're looking for 1 nomination.
I haven't spoken to him, but I'd like to nominate Councillor Francis as lead member for transport.
Councillor Sims.
I'm happy to second that.
Any other nominations? All those in favour of Councillor Francis? That is carried. Cornwall Partnership NHS Foundation Trust, we're looking for 1 appointment. Councillor Guy.
Propose Councillor Peacock.
Seconder. Councillor Sims or Dean. Councillor Sims, you were closest. Any other nominations? All those in favour? That is carried. Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Economic Forum. We have 2 vacancies. Councillor...
Well, I think I'm on it, and I'd like to withdraw, and I would propose Councillor Francis instead.
Councillor Francis, are we looking for one other as well?
Does the Economic Forum, Chair, yes?
I don't recall who else was there. Was it John?
Yeah, I'll happily sit on that.
So Councillor Francis, Councillor Peacock, proposer and seconder, Councillor Sims, Councillor Roger. Any other nominations? All those in favour? That is carried. Councillor Grottek, your light is on.
Chair, can I just express a wish to deputise, should that be convenient for either member who can't attend?
Okay, thank you very much. Cornwall and I'll...
Chair,
Yes.
Chair, sorry, this is just for my own notes. Can I have the second person for that forum, please? So the two.
It was Councillor Francis and Councillor Peacock.
Councillor
Yeah,
Francis and Councillor
thank
Peacock.
you.
Cornwall and Isles of City Workforce and Skills Board 1, appointment needed.
I think I'm current incumbent, and I would like to withdraw. So somebody else wants to do it. It's not the most exciting of roles.
Can I nominate Councillor Francis, please?
I'll go for that one.
Okay.
I'll nominate myself.
Okay. So we've got two nominations. How?
I'm happy to.
Okay. So we've got Councillor Francis, Councillor Marcus, apologies. For housekeeping, should we just have a proposer and seconder?
Happy to propose Councillor Marcus.
Seconder.
Happy to second.
Any other nominations? No. All those in favour? That is carried. Did we get to Economic Prosperity Board Advisory Panel?
No, that's the next one.
Which is one we're doing now?
We've done the Workforce and Skills Board.
That was the Workforce and Skills Board.
So we are doing Prosperity Board Advisory Panel. Yeah. So Economic Prosperity Board Advisory Panel was previously Councillor Mumford, one appointment. Councillor Peacock.
I don't think that that's due to meet again. but I
Yes,
might
it's
be
wrapping
wrong.
up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's been wound up, but I'm not totally sure. So maybe we keep the Councillor Mumford on it until we discover if it actually is happening or not.
I'll second that proposal.
Okay. So we're proposing Councillor...
Councillor Mumford has her hand up, Chair.
Councillor Mumford, go ahead, please.
Yes, well, I mean, we've had two meetings and both meetings clashed with another meeting, so I'd rather come off that, but it is, I believe it is not going to be shortly. I've discussed it with Russell, but...
If I could just come in, Chair. So the items relating to the Economic Prosperity Board and the SPF funding, that governance will be coming to a cessation over the next 12 months. But I think for the purposes of today, if we could just appoint to make sure we do have somebody, if required, over that 12-month period whilst things are being wound up, because they haven't been yet.
So Councillor Mumford, you happy to remain as the named representative? For
yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Do you have a proposer and seconder for Councillor Mumford? Councillor Marcus, Councillor Peacock, any other nominations? All those in favour? That is carried. And I think the final one is Cultural Centre and Museum Project Board for this part of the recommendation. We had 3 previous appointments by portfolio. We're looking to maintain.
I don't think that's right, because we had the lead member for economy, tourism and transport and the lead member for housing, but I don't think we had the vice chair. We had Councillor White as the third.
Yeah, I've been in as
board.
the third for the last year. I think previous to that it was the vice chair, but it wasn't part of the terms of reference.
Okay.
So if it's possible, I'm happy to continue to serve on that board.
But I don't know about Councillor Sims, whether he'd like to carry on or
I
whether
mean,
he goes
I
on
was just going to
portfolio.
say, I think I've been on that project board for what feels like hundreds of years now, and I would sort of like to stay on it until it finishes. So if there's room, I'm not desperate to, but I would like to continue on it.
Okay. Councillor Blackwell?
Thank you. If there's room, I'd like to be considered for that board.
I'm happy to continue to serve if there's a vacancy.
Do we know if we're limited to 3, or is it similar to the...
We weren't supposed to dominate it because it was in partnership with the Museum Association, so there were 2 members from each organisation plus me as the chair. So I think that's probably what we should continue to have. Who the 2 members are, I don't think is necessarily by portfolio, so happy to take 2 anyone's. But I'd quite like to carry on as chair just to see it through.
Absolutely, fine. So we're looking for 3 appointments today, and we have more than 3 nominations, is from what or 3 suggestions of people who would like to stand. So can I just clarify who wanted to?
Sorry, I was just going to say if anybody wanted to stand down.
If Councillor Blackwell would like to serve on it, I'm happy to stand back. The meetings are usually on Wednesdays, which is sometimes tricky for me to get to. Although I've enjoyed serving on it, and I think my background in arts and culture has helped. I'm more than happy to stand back if you'd like to stand.
So I think we're looking at Councillor Sims, Councillor Blackwell and Councillor Dean. Any other nominations? Anyone who else desperately wishing to join this group?
Is one allowed to say that I'd be happy to deputise if any colleague can't attend? Because I do feel it's very important at this moment in time in the community interest that we have a really strong presence on this.
I think that'd be very helpful, Councillor Grottick. Thank you.
Beg your pardon, Chair.
That's very helpful. Thank you. Yeah, for you to offer that. So do we have a proposer for Councillor Dean, Councillor Sims and Councillor Blackwell? Councillor Marcus proposing. The seconder, Councillor Legg. All those in favour? That is carried. Have we ticked off all aspects of recommendation 1 there, Leah, to your satisfaction?
Yes, it's just recommendation 2.
So recommendation 2 is linked to de facto appointments. Do we have a proposer and seconder for that? Councillor White, Councillor Nixon. All those in favour? That is carried. So, Lee, does that conclude external appointments to your satisfaction?
Yes.
Jolly good.
I think next year, members, I mean, as the monitoring officer has pointed out, we are doing a review of some of the standing orders. Maybe we look at for future years where we have where we tell you who the incumbents are, that we've already worked with members prior to the meeting to get to a proposed alternative. I just think it will probably facilitate the meeting going forwards where we've worked with members beforehand, so that the proposals and seconds can just be a little bit more straightforward for members. But we can pick that up with members in the next few months just to see what would work better for everybody.
Thank you. Councillor Legg, your light is on.
In Appendix 1, it also mentions a representative for the National Association of Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. I know in the past we have appointed former Councillor Johan Hicks to this role. I don't know if he's done it in recent years, but is that a role we should be appointing to?
That's the, Leah, are you able to clarify? It's the first line of the Appendix 1 table. Are you on mute, I think?
Apologies. So on recommendation 1, that was the first one, the Ailsa Scilly Area of Natural Beauty Partnership.
That would be the second one. The first one is the National Association.
Let me just go to the table.
Is this something we could delegate to the National Landscape Partnership, perhaps?
So all of the all of the ones that are contained within Appendix 1 that are not listed in Recommendation 1 fall within Recommendation 2. So if it's not one we specifically appointed to in Recommendation 1, it's either because it's a de facto appointment that arises from a member or officer holding a specified role, so they by default get appointed to the forum. So in terms of the table, the National Association of Areas of Outstanding Natural Beauty, the one you're referring to, would that not be the lead member, the appropriate lead member who sits on that role?
When I was in that lead member role, I wasn't on the National Association, and I believe in the last year, Councillor Peacock hasn't been in that role.
I haven't either. I mean,
I'll just bring the Chief Executive in.
The appendix also mentions keeping the relevant lead member informed, which would suggest that historically it has not been the lead member.
Can I just, for clarification, if you read the Appendix 1, it says the Isles of Scilly AONB is authorised to make the appointment. So Recommendation 2 today will be that you continue to give the Isles of Scilly AONB the authority to make that appointment. It's not a council appointment, it's the AONB.
Brilliant. In that case, I'll propose Recommendation 2.
I'll second that.
Councillor Grottick.
Can I just ask, I believe it's called English Heritage now, and my understanding is that we were supporting... No? Sorry? Oh, sorry, my confusion.
So in terms of Recommendation 2, I think Councillor Legg was proposing, Councillor Peacock was seconding. All those in favour of Recommendation 2? That is carried. And I see no further lights on. So I think we move on to agenda item 13. Joseph, which I think you're going to introduce.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, so members are invited to appoint 2 nominated managing trustees for 4-year terms to the Richard Addison Charitable Trust. These vacancies have arisen due to the expiry of the previous 4-year terms of Councillor Mumford, who has also been serving as chairman of the trust, and Councillor Guy. The Addison Trust is an independent charitable trust founded upon a bequest from Mr. Richard Addison, a St Mary's flower grower who died in 1979. Under the terms of his will, the resources of the trust are to be expended on welfare purposes, in particular for the benefit of the old folks of the islands. That's a direct quote. The management of the trust is undertaken by a body of 5 managing trustees, 3 nominated managing trustees appointed by the council, and 2 co-opted managing trustees appointed by the other trustees. Given that we have 2 vacancies, there are currently 3 managing trustees in place. Councillor Marcus, who was appointed by council as a nominated managing trustee last November, Mrs. Jane Chiverton and Mrs. Celia Hicks, who are the co-opted managing trustees. So members are invited to appoint 2 nominated managing trustees to bring the trustee body back up to its full complement of 5. Please note that nominated managing trustees appointed by the council may be, but need not be, members of council. Happy to answer any questions if there are any.
So my understanding is Councillor Mumford and Councillor Guy's terms of office have expired, but that doesn't necessarily prevent them from, if they wish to, continue. Okay, so we're looking for two councillors probably to carry on. Councillor Peacock.
May I propose Councillor Guy and Councillor Mumford?
All those, any seconder for those 2? Any other nominations? Can I just check with Councillor Guy and Councillor Mumford, you're happy with that?
I'm willing to stand again.
Yes, I'm willing to stand again.
Okay. All those in favour of Councillor Guy and Councillor Mumford, that is carried. Thank you very much. Agenda item 4 is our Isles of Sea Fire and Rescue Service Community Risk Management Plan 23 to 26, progress report and interim year extension with Phil Martin. I think you're online, Phil.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to introduce this report, which I'm presenting following the decision taken by members in November 2025 to approve an extension to our 2023 to 26 Community Risk Management Plan. The purpose of this report, alongside the accompanying interim CRMP is to provide assurance on the progress made against the original plan's priorities and to set out a clear and transparent position on delivery to date. The paper acknowledges that during the lifetime of the 2023 to 26 CRMP, the service experienced capacity challenges which impacted on our ability to complete some elements of the plan within the original timescales. I want to be clear that these challenges were recognised, understood, and have now been addressed. Where activity has not progressed as intended, this report explains the reasons for that and avoids presenting progress in a way that lacks honesty or realism. Importantly, this paper does not simply look backwards, it sets out how outstanding elements of the CRMP will be taken forward, how they align with current risks, and how delivery will be supported by improved capacity, governance, and oversight. The interim CRMP provides a bridge between the original plan and our next plan, ensuring continuity of risk management and strategic intent. I would ask members to see this paper as both an update and reassurance. It demonstrates learning, transparency, and a renewed focus on delivery. As detailed elsewhere in the meeting pack, this paper has been presented to Scrutiny Committee, and I now invite members to approve the contents. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. The audio there was not fantastic, but I think we probably heard the key points you were trying to make. Do we have any questions from members this morning? I'm again mindful it's been to scrutiny. Councillor Dean.
Not really any questions. Phil, we asked you lots of questions at scrutiny, so I was happy with the responses then, so I'll just propose the recommendation.
Councillor Sims, I assume you two are looking to... No further comments? Okay, so we've got proposer Councillor Dean, seconder Councillor Sims. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Next agenda item is agenda item 15. Rebecca. Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Marine Nature Recovery Framework Report.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. This report presents to members the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Marine Nature Recovery Framework and seeks endorsement by Council. The report also seeks members' recognition of the role the Council has to support the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Local Nature Partnership in providing support to deliver this alongside the Local Nature Recovery Strategy as part of a system-wide approach. Members will recall adopting the Local Nature Recovery Strategy back in March 2025, and unlike the Nature Recovery Strategy, this Marine Nature Recovery Framework is voluntary and a non-statutory requirement of Council. It has been led by Cornwall Council and the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Local Nature Partnership in recognition of the marine environment's importance and influence in both Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly, and complements the Local Nature Recovery Strategy. As this is a voluntary framework, no single authority is mandated to implement it, and there's no funding assigned to its delivery. It's envisaged that the framework is endorsed by local conservation agencies, statutory agencies, and those organisations committed to nature recovery, who will embed it into their work and champion the actions which deliver locally on agreed priorities. The framework's been developed through a collaborative process led by Cornwall Council and the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Marine and Coastal Partnership, and included engagement activities undertaken on Scilly as an opportunity for residents and businesses to feed into the framework's development. This process helped to identify priorities, agreed actions and outcomes via a series of in-person workshops, online also, and events. Thank you, and happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Councillor Peacock.
Yep, I think it's a very good report. Thank you, Rebecca. I know we've done a lot of work. My name's in there a couple of times previously, so I know how much work was involved. So I'd like to propose recommendations 1 and 2.
Councillor Legg.
Yeah, work on this started when I was in the lead member for environment role. There's been some consultation with local stakeholders, and I would like to second the recommendation.
Okay, before we vote, any further comments or questions? So we have a proposer, Councillor Peacock, seconder, Councillor Legg. We'll take the 2 recommendations together if we may. All those in favour? That's carried. Thank you very much, Rebecca. Agenda item 16 is Morwell Wayside roof replacement. Keith.
Morning, members. Thank you, Chair. This report seeks approval to fund the replacement of the roof at the Morwell waste site. The waste site is a critical part of our infrastructure, supporting waste collection, processing and environmental protection across the islands. Despite only being around 10 years old, the roof has suffered significant corrosion and storm damage arising from a marine environment and original design issues relating to the choice of material in the roof. This has led to increasing leaks, creating risks to the underlying electrical equipment and the waste processing equipment in that shed. We've carried out options appraisal and investigation, and the preferred solution, as outlined in the business case, is for a full roof replacement with a weatherproof and weather resilient system with a 20-year warranty. This would be a composite blend of aluminium and zinc and resin structures and not containing any ferrous materials. The report therefore seeks approval to transfer £460,000 from the approved New Starts and Investor Save programme outlined in the capital budget to fund the works, with delegating authority to progress with the procurement and commissioning of the repairs. We'd like to commence the procurement process as soon as possible to ensure that we can work to securing the building before the autumn storms. The works will entail removal and reinstallation of the existing solar panels, and subject to funds, we may investigate further panel investment. We'll bring a further breakdown of the capital programme allocations to the Capital and Properties Board at the next meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Councillor Blackwell, I think your light was on first.
Thank you. I've got 5 questions. First of all, why are we not claiming for storm-related damage from our insurance?
Because this is more than just the storm-related damage. It's an inherent issue with the material that is corroding and has been corroding for the last few years. So it's not as if it's directly attributable to the storm, but there has been works within the corporate properties programme to get an insurance claim against Storm Gretty already.
For the roof?
Not for this roof, no,
Oh.
but for the estate in general.
Okay, thank you. Secondly, the architect's drawing number 205, note 12, dated the 10th of June 2015, specifies still work to be provided with a protective coating which will guarantee a minimum of 25 years to first maintenance suitable for environment category C4, being coastal. With a delegated authority, why did the strategic director for Place at the time and the project managers, SLR, allow materials to be used which were not specified or suitable for a marine climate, and the guarantee absent?
I can't comment. I'll be speculating on why.
Okay.
Yeah, so the project would have been managed at the time, a different team, using a project team at the time that went. Those that were at the council at the time will remember that there was some contractual issues within that process. What this report does is put things right, but learns from the lessons that were found at that time. So we've gone through those previous contracts, looked at why things went wrong, and made sure as we look forward that we can put things right. So as Keith just described, making sure that the specification for the works is correct, and therefore the project management, as we go and assure this project moving forward, will be scrupulously checked to make sure that the materials are correctly installed. But we can't look backwards on this one, but we can learn from those lessons. But Keith and the team were not around at that time, I think, but there are lessons documented that we have taken on board as we move forward to find the right solution for this building.
Thank you. Next question. If the contractors use the incorrect specification when designing, why is reclaiming the costs from the contractor not a viable course of action?
Sorry, can I come in? I don't know if you want to come in here, but I'm not sure looking backwards solves the problem here. The problem we've got now is we've got a substandard roof in place. We can't change that. It's there. What we can do is learn from the lessons, which is why we've got the specification correctly adhered to here. Looking forward, we're putting that right, but we can't look backwards to solve this problem. We've already looked at the contractual issues that were resolved at the time that went to court. We can't go back on that. That won't help us move forward.
Did you say it went to court?
Yes, that it was resolved through court. The contractual discussions which were undertaken at the time, not relevant to what we're talking about today moving forward. So Keith's report is about how we move forward and allow the contract to be placed now, learning from the lessons that took place years ago. But Keith can't be held he can't answer those questions. They aren't within his remit. The remit here is to put forward a proposal for the replacement of the roof at the right specification using the capital budget available to us from the council.
It's just good for councillors to understand what went wrong previously, so we can learn from those mistakes, so we can make an understanding. It's a large sum of money that we're being asked to commit to, so that's why I've asked those questions. My fourth question, looking back at previous finance papers, the line in the budget entitled New Starts and Invest to Save was approved by members to be used for funds to support the revenue savings programme, but the Morwell roof replacement is not shown there. This roof failure was apparent for quite some time before the budget was prepared. Why was it not included as an item in its own right?
Okay. It was not sufficiently developed, I don't think, to actually form a line in the capital programme back in November last year. One of the reasons we put the block in there to support both the savings programmes and any new starts which were not clearly identified is why we put the block allocation in. We didn't have sufficient accurate forecasts and estimates at the point when we were doing the budget last autumn.
Okay, thank you. And finally, how are you preventing the same errors from occurring should this roof replacement be agreed?
By getting the specification right and the project team in place to ensure that is assured as we go through the process.
Thank you.
Councillor Sims, I think your light was on next.
Yes. Firstly, the council has a really lamentable record with roofs. The airport roof went about a week and a half after it was put on. Then we had the sports hall roof. Now we got this roof, and I heard from another member this week apparently that the roof on St Martin's Power Station is now letting in sunlight and probably rain, and it just seems crazy. You know, it's not being trivial, but there could be dozens of other roofs out there that are about to go in and catch us, and it's what. And I appreciate entirely that we're looking forward and we've got to sort this problem out. I agree with that. But I'm still quite intrigued how it took. There must have been an awareness of this even maybe a couple of years back. It's just taken this long to come to council. But at a final point, really, it might be worth us employing somebody at 500 quid a week to do absolutely nothing but monitor roofs, because over the course of 10 years, we'd save money.
Okay, so the way we manage the estate now is through stock condition surveys. So we do regular stock condition surveys, not only on our housing stock, which was always done something in the past, but we do stock condition survey work around our corporate estate too. We didn't even have a list of what was on our corporate estate up until recently, and now we've got the list and we're regularly monitoring it and doing surveys on those buildings. So I think if you look at Stormgoretti, the benefit of that was we've done most of the work on the stock condition survey for the housing. Most of our properties were fine. Other landlords on the island suffered considerable damage because their stock condition surveys and work hadn't been brought up to date. So we've reaped the benefits of the processes that we've now got in place, which is about know what we've got, monitor what we've got, and make sure we've got an investment programme. And the existing capital investment programme includes those ongoing continual repairs to our estate moving forward. So there will always be exceptions when there's storms or there's something that's got through the net. But by and large, I think we're in a much stronger position now to understand the current condition of our estate, and that is reflected in our investment programme. So the risk associated with those surveys and the works required are represented in the existing capital programme as it now stands. This was a known issue, but the price of it wasn't known at the time when Russell was balancing the budget and presenting it to council.
Thank you.
I'll bring in Councillor Guy, who's like to been on longer than Councillor Dean.
Thank you, Chair. It just feels very sad that we're in this situation again. As Councillor Sim said, some of the questions Councillor Blackwell brought up, another £500,000 of ratepayers' money on a roof that's less than 10 years old. It's a real sad situation to be in. I agree with what the officer said about moving forward, going in the right direction. Can we have some sort of reassurance that everything's going to be covered with this new roof if we go forward with it? I.e., that shed, that particular shed we're talking about, as members, I don't know if you're aware, there's nearly £3.5 million worth of equipment in that shed when all the vehicles are in it. It's one multi-shed that holds everything, which one concern I have, I would like to bring up, and I don't know if I'm going to get an answer here now, is as that shed does everything, black bag waste, recycling, glass, blah, 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 one of the concerns I've got about insurance is if we have black bag waste in there and it does accumulate in lots of tonnage, and somebody puts a couple of lithium batteries in, for argument's sake, and the site is closed for the week, and all of a sudden there's a massive fire in that building, how do we combat that? How do we stop that happening? Am I asking the wrong question? But I am concerned about that.
We have invested in infrared fire alarms that will monitor heat build-up in the waste piles in that room, in that area of the shed.
And as the report states, there is problems with the electrics in that shed, so hopefully them alarms are working. Yeah, I just want some reassurance, that's all, just for clarity.
To the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, so there are risk assessments done on that building and on that facility. It's probably the highest risk the council have. So the risk assessments, the health and safety risk assessments and the fire risk assessments and the works are always prioritised for that site because it's an essential piece of infrastructure, but it's always also one of the areas of highest risk. So both the environmental health officer, risk officer, as well as the team are always reviewing the risk assessments in there and the fire risk strategy to make sure that we're up to date, and facilities management have that as one of their key priorities.
Thank you. The only one other question I'd like to bring up is if you look at the plan for the roof, there's a lot of venting system in there and everything else as it's specified. Half of that building is a vent when the doors are open. I just thought...
Councillor Dean.
Thank you. Thanks, Keith, for the report. Yeah, I mean, everything's been said about the disappointment looking backwards, but I think it is, it is about looking forward. And I do have confidence in the systems we have in place now that we are, we are inspecting our buildings, we are picking up on these issues. The biggest risk with this is to do nothing and then the whole thing collapses and then we get an absolutely humongous bill to put everything right. So, yes, it's massively disappointing that this structure is failing. But I'm confident that the procedures we've got in place will look forward to that. One issue that does come up time and time again is the signing off of contracts, and it's something we've talked about before about whether we should have probably not a full-time post, but a consultative post for someone to sign off where it's a kind of clerk of works kind of role. I've mentioned it before. There have been jobs in my time as lead member that have been signed off and haven't been good enough, and we've picked up on it and got someone to put it right, but that wasn't with the clerk of works, that was just with, us as members or members of the public picking up on things and us chasing it up. But I do think there's a role within the council that would pay for itself. So that's something I want to push going forward. One concern I have about this proposal is that we might have to, or it looks like we're going to have to go through planning, which is incredibly frustrating because there's a cost and a time delay with that, and as Keith said, we want to get the works done before any potential storms next winter. I despair that we have to go through planning, but I don't think there's really an answer to give for that, but that's just my feeling about it. Anyway, but yes, going forward, yes, it is what it is, and I will propose the recommendations.
Councillor Francis.
Thank you. I just really wanted to ask, I'm sure you have, but are there no other products that are available for this roof that is more cost effective than £500,000 and or contractors that could do the job at a more reasonable price, or are we stuck with this?
We've been through all options, all suppliers. We've spent about 6 months looking at all the different products on the market. So we've gone round in circles to get the best product that suits this environment and the best team to install it. So I think we've gone through the full procurement process, but we've been very rigorous in terms of the specification for the works that we've asked for.
Thank you.
Before I bring in Councillor Marcus Lear, I can see your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to just be clear on the recommendation. So on recommendation 1, it just asked the members to review the business case, and I was wondering if Nicola was seeking endorsement or approval. I just wanted that clarification.
I think the endorsement or approval would help coming to a conclusion of whether to then allocate the funding. So I would agree with you, Leah. It probably makes more sense to approve the business case, because then that leads on to further recommendations.
So I was just wondering if Councillor Dean, who's just proposed, whether he is still happy to propose with that alteration.
Yes, I'm happy to propose that. The option 5, I believe it was it? Yes. Yes?
You.
Okay, Councillor Marcus.
I was going to ask, in the different costs and different materials, by my calculation, option 4 works out at a lower per year cost than option 5, because option 4 is for 30 years warranty, option 5 is for 20 years. Can you explain why the business case recommends option 5 rather than option 4? Page 195 of the pack.
I think the choice is based on the actual installation process, that the high site, the actual labour and on-site fabrication would have been an additional upfront cost, but I take your point on the lifetime value of the works.
So it's for expediency and what's the word I'm looking for? Interruption to the works.
Yeah.
I think what Keith's saying is that you've got a whole cost on option 5, whereas only part cost on option 4.
Okay, well that means we can't really judge. You know, that's a bit of a. If that's truth, then.
It's also the issue of option 4 requires the additional staffing, and not staffing, but labour specialists. So I can't talk to that.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Additional workforce infrastructure issues and about accommodation of the skilled workforce install the roof.
But it would be good to have all the information. Can someone turn the light off, please? Thank you. It would be good to have all the information in a business case if we were actually recommending it for approval rather than not.
Councillor Sims, I think.
We've not really talked about the cost of this. It's quite expensive. Now, I'm just wondering, what's the wider implications to this for the council budget? Because I don't recall it appearing anywhere in anything else. I know it's capital, but it's 460 or 500,000 pounds we can't spend on something else, or ideally not spend at all. So I just wondered, impact on the overall budget, because it's quite a chunk of money.
Yeah, I'll answer that. The recommendation is that there is a line in the capital programme at the moment for £500,000, which was New Starts and Invest to Save. So it's already built into the council's capital programme. The revenue implications of that have already been dealt with in the council's revenue budget. What we're asking for is for that money to be transferred to this project in here. So it isn't additional to the existing capital programme. It's using a line in the capital programme to be allocated to this project.
So perhaps less impactful than I thought, but however, I mean, inevitably this must displace something else that we won't be able to spend that money that we don't know, we no longer have. But we'll have a nice shiny roof. It's good.
Councillor Blackwell, then Councillor Peacock.
Thank you. On your report, on page 192, the recent inspection also identified that the roller shutter doors had been damaged beyond reasonable repair and require replacement. How much is required and how soon is replacement due? I imagine it would have some impact on the integrity of the building if with the doors not fixed, even if we do have a new roof.
They've been procured already, so Keith will explain the timeline, but they'll be in place by the time the roof's on.
Thank you.
Councillor Peacock.
Yeah, I like the report. Thank you, Nicola, for putting it forward, and Keith. My view is on this is we need to do this. If we don't do this, there will be absolute chaos if we have to shut the recycling stroke waste stream down. So I think it's a bit Hobson's choices here. I get members' concerns, but I also, from lead member for environment, I know of what will happen if we can't, if we have to close the waste site down due to the roof coming off. So much as I tend to agree with some of the comments made, I have major reservations about not doing this work as a matter of urgency and would implore members to pass this, please.
Councillor Nixon.
Thank you, Chair. I echo what Councillor Peacock has said. Obviously, the work does need to be done. My one slight concern is obviously the costs are approximately 406,000 as of now. We've got £500,000 in the line on the capital programme board. What contingency do we have in place if there's any slippage?
14%.
Contingency is built into the business case already.
Councillor Dean.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one other point, which is about everything we do, really. Keith's role as procurement officer is to go through the correct procedures to protect the public purse. And one of the consequences of protecting the public purse is very often that it costs more money, which is just ridiculous, but that's the situation that local governments and government in general is in. So, yes, it's a huge amount of money, but we always have to spend more than Joe Bloggs in the street would have to pay for fixing the roof. So just wanted to make that point.
Councillor Sims.
I just wanted to respond to John's comment, which I broadly agree with, but I don't think anybody in this room is suggesting for 1 second we shouldn't do this. We all know we've got to do it. We're just not very pleased that we have to do it, and I think that's a lot different to being not wishing it to be done.
Thank you. I think that sums up our point of view. So we've got 3 recommendations. Recommendation 1 has a slight amendment with, I think, the word review being changed to approve. Councillor Dean proposed that. I don't think we had a seconder. Councillor Peacock. All those in favour? Any against? Councillor Marcus?
Yeah, just in terms of accuracy for the report.
And any abstentions? Okay, so that is carried. And I think that concludes agenda, the first section of our decision items. We've got 1 part 2 report for information, no part 3. So I think that concludes our meeting this morning. Thank you very much.